Okay, in this video, you get a chance to see how I turn a regular graphic into a book cover, all in Scribble. Okay, so you are now seeing the finished product, but let's take a look at this. This is the actual graphic, and now what I did was I took some paragraph elements, as you notice here, and I just put a subheading. Now the big idea was we would take a graphic and we will put that on and use it as a cover. We're going to use it as the cover of our ebook. Now, if you notice, if you go a little bit down here, you'll see that there's a totally different scheme. Now, we're going to change that a little bit later, but right now you can take a look at how I did this. Let me go ahead and back out of this and show you exactly what I did. Now, here you go to the gear where it says cover, go to the gear, and we are going to notice that right here we have a little space here. If you go ahead and click there, that'll take that cover out. Now you hit the plus button, and what we get a chance to do is put that cover back in. Now I uploaded it from the file, if you notice here, and I'm not going to go ahead and do a video on that, but we can show that it's already here. This is what will happen. If you upload, it'll put all of your covers here. Okay, so I could use this cover if I want to. Watch this. Now you see what just happened. It then gives me this cover, but of course you can't see any of this down here. I could very easily turn this into different colors by going to the gear box here and then moving down until I see the different colors. All right, so this is the actual font, and then I would have to literally just change the colors and it would give me a different look. But let's go ahead and experiment a little bit. If we go here, we can put in text, you can put in headlines, you can put in buttons. Give me an example. If I wanted to put in a button, I can do this. Now you notice this button shows up and we can go ahead and change the colors out. And the great thing about this is that now you can use this. You see how we can move this around very easily? We can use this as a click here to download the rest. You can literally show the title and then say, well, you know, to get the rest of the book, click here and download, right? So now if we want to do some different things here, you see it says download now. We can change that. Get the rest. Download here. Now you get a chance to do some really fancy stuff if you want to. You can go ahead and change those to capitals. All kind of cool stuff. All right. Now I'm just showing you this as an example without going into it in its totality. I don't want this to be a super long video. I want to show you how you can get this done super duper fast. Try saying that fast 3 times, super duper fast. All right, so to get the rest of the book, download here, and we could probably make that more grammatically correct, but we're not going to worry about that right now. Download here. You get an understanding, or I think you know what I mean, when you can see how this is so easy, right? Subtext. You don't need that. Let's get rid of that. Now, we may not want this actual button, this actual color, but it doesn't go badly. Remember what I talked about in one of the other videos? I talked about doing your grids. You do both, get a chance to see where you are. Am I 1, 2.5 over, 1, 2.5 over? So let's go ahead and make that a little bit more happy. Am I down here? Put that right on one of the grids so that it lines up. All right, great. Now what we have, move the grids, is you have your button here to download the rest of the book. If you can get people excited, of course, with a couple of pages, that's great. I doubt if you'll do it with just the title, but if you're that good, super duper, that's awesome. Right? So get the rest of the book, or to get your book, download here. The title may be enough. Okay? So that's the point here. You get a chance to change some good stuff, right? Go into your areas here. You got font size. If I want to change the font size of that, you have any borders. If you decide that you want to put a border around it, you've got some coloration here. If you want to do some, now the text color, if you notice, I had it at black, right? So what we want to do is change that so that it shows up. Now we know that. Let's see. I think if I have it, yep. Okay, great. That is the color white. Let's go ahead and enter. And let's go ahead and now you notice the changes in the color of what you had as a subhead, right? So, and this was for the other book, of course, but just showing you here how you can make your subhead. I've already got a subhead here, but if you wanted to add a subhead into your file, into your book, you can do that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the authors here. Okay, all right, so we're going to text color. We're going to change that to all Fs. Let's see, FF. Let's see if that does it. No, one more F. Okay. Now, if you notice, then it's John F. Hendershot and myself, Randy Otterbridge. So now you get a chance to do a lot of things, right? So let's go ahead and take this out because we don't want that, right? But we do want to keep this button here to get the rest of the book. Download here. Now we can put a comma here, but I wouldn't do that. All right, so we've got a chance to move some stuff around. Watch this. And F. Hendershot and Randy Otterbridge. We can put that in this position here. Move this around. So you get a good chance to see how you can create different covers. Now let's go ahead and get rid of that cover and get into the cover that we had on there before. So remember, we're going to go ahead and hit the button here. There is this little box right here that will allow you to change, or you could just go ahead and do this. But I like to see it as a plain canvas. Hit the button here, put up straight up Entre Hustler. That's what I wanted. And that's good here. Now BG color, if you notice here, that's what they said. They had the BG color as I think it was a clear background, but we want all white. F. Let's go ahead and hashtag it. Let's try that. All right. Now you notice what I did and why I did that was if the color that was up here was a low grayish color, and my graphic didn't quite fit, but with this way it does fit. Okay, so look at this. We got some stuff going on here. We can get rid of that, and we can now move this up to get the rest of the book, or to get your hands on, you can say all kind of stuff, right? To get your hands on this book. To get your hands this book, download here, right? Or you could just say download here, right? It's up to you. Now I like to add a little extra stuff to make it an irresistible offer. Okay, so there you go. You have a different cover. You've moved some stuff around. You can do what you want to. Now what I wanted to do here is, because this is just a graphic, what I wanted to do was to add a subhead here. So this is our, John and I had this cover made, straight up Entre Hustler. Somebody might go, well, what does that mean? We're introducing a new word here. So what we want to do is click it in here and see if we can grab some words. Okay, so we're going to click here. And then we're going to, if you notice here, you've got the whole book in front of you, how it's going to look. We can add some content if you want to do that. We can add some pages if you want to do that. Go to settings, see what happens there. Nothing that we want to look at. Okay, great. So what are we trying to accomplish then? Now, what we're trying to accomplish, and this is something fun. You can make another, I love doing this sometimes because I like to do strange things. But sometimes I'll have two buttons. All right, so let's say I duplicated that and I says, to get your hands on this on this book, or if it say to get the book free, click here. To pay $10.99, click here. Right? And it's so much fun being able to do stuff like that, because you're giving people options on one hand, but at the same time you're making an assumption that the sale is going to happen one way or the other, and each one can take people to the same thing. All right, so you notice what I'm talking about here. All right, so but what we want to do is we want it to add a subhead, right? So let's go ahead and go to the section here. Everything looks good there. Okay, I got some stuff that I wanted to do. All right, great. Now let's go ahead and see if we can add some things to this. Okay, so as I said in the other video, what we want to do is we wanted to add some words underneath here. We wanted to add a subheading. Now, sometimes you can do this because if you're doing like a split test, you want to split test different subheadings or something like that, or different things, different buttons. If you wanted to do that, what you could do is you can add one of these headlines, you can add a paragraph block, you can add a bullet if you wanted to do that. And in this case, what we want to add is we want to add some text. All right, so let's go ahead and add some text. All right, now we have a text box here. We can now bring that up, bring this down a little bit, and we can start adding our text. Now let's get rid of what's in here right now, and then we're going to do something really, really cool in a second. Watch this. So you can say straight up Entre Hustler. All right, you can say how to your hustle on, or better yet, let's go 10 ways. 10 ways to get your hustle on and your money right. Something like that, right? 10 ways. 10 ways to get your hustle on and your money right. Okay, we can make that lowercase if you want to. Okay, now let's go ahead and click in here. Go to the gear. Remember we talked about going to the gear. That's going to give you your individual things. Now I want a bigger font size, okay? So let's go ahead and make that bigger font size. All right, we can keep it this kind of font if you want to, or you can change up. I don't know, this kind of straight up. This is a straight kind of wording here, but if we wanted to go into our individual fonts, if we wanted to go into our individual fonts, we can say, okay, what do we think this is? Let's see, it's kind of big lettering here. Okay, so we can try to find that font. Let's try to go into it. And here are our choices. Let's say, what does that look like? All right, the letters are kind of big, but they're nice and clean. So you can decide if you want to go into the area here and find a font that looks pretty similar. I like it to stand out a little bit, so you know, you can do a little bit of what they did here is put it in a little cursive. If you wanted to do that, that would be something that is again totally up to you, but make it so that it's immediately readable and that doesn't go, you know, terribly crazy against what you already have there. So let's try lobster. Let's try this one. Okay, all right, so we got a little bit of a deal here, right? Got some cursive. And we can, again, now go to change our font size if you want to. You want to make that a little bit bigger. All right, 10 ways to get your hustle on and your money right. Hey, not too bad. I'd have to think more about it, but not too bad. All right, get your hands on this book, download here. And we can even say something like this free book if you want to do that. All right, so if we wanted to change up some stuff, either get your hands on this free book. All right. Now you see the power of this. And why it works so well, look at this. We got some really good colors, right? Now I could do some things here. I can pick these colors out to be exact if I want to, but I don't feel like doing that, right? I just want to get this thing up and out as good as possible. So we look at this and we go, oh, you know what? That's not too bad. Now we can start designing the other parts of our interior. Now this is where you may say, well, gee, you know, I want to have the colors that look similar to this. All right, so you say, well, okay, well, that's fine. Let's find this color if you want to have the color of your button. So let's go into that. We can see the color code right here. And then we're going to be using this color code. So let's go ahead and grab that, hit copy, hold on to a minute, or you can open up a text file if you want to do that. Put it there. So when we look at this, we go, oh, well, wait a minute. Let's see here. What's going on here? I don't want this blue background. I want another background. Okay, great. Let's put the background that you had in the other one, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Enter. Okay, so in order for us to change these colors, now you notice you have your colors here. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the gear. And I'm going to show you, see the color here is a darker color, but we want it to be consistent again with our box. Okay, so we can go into this, change the color, whether you had it in you wrote it down or put it in your text file. Just go ahead and change it there. Okay. Now it doesn't change right away if you notice, because we have to actually click this button here. Bam. See how it changed? Great. Border color, let's do the same thing. Little things that you'll learn as you go. Okay. All right. So you see what's happening is that now what we've done is we've changed the background color to match up elements that we have here in our cover. And if we're going to use this as, again, as a very, very quick ebook, we're going to create our PDF. So we're going to create this so that people can download when they come on to our list or something like that. We have now created at least the background color so we can get a chance to see that there's some uniformity. And that's all good, right? So again, if you want to change out any element here, we're going to be going to either totally getting rid of it, or what I like to do sometimes is I like to clone them and then play around with the one that I am working on just in case I lose something. I've done that too many times to chance it now. So, but you see what's happening is that you have a chance to do something interesting, right? Now, look what just happened here. When I cloned it, it ended up putting some words in front of the actual picture. Now, you could leave it like that. You can actually put your words in here and have a picture in the background, make it a little bit more interesting versus just having a single image. That could be something that you can do, right? You can put in, again, you can start putting in your pictures and all that kind of stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and, because we now have an element copied, let's go ahead and do some different things. So let's say that I now want to, let's see. Now you notice here, watch this. This right here, this gear is going to change what's in this box. This is going to do something to your headers. If you wanted to have something in your header and you wanted to be consistent on every page, you would do that, change that here. Right? Let me show you real quick. So you can actually have so that it shows up on every, so hit this, see how it says, it will apply text from this header to all pages. Are you sure? Absolutely not, right? So now, and then you have, let's go ahead and get out of that, cancel, the main gear, right? The main things if you want to move some stuff around. This is really good stuff. This is why I love this particular product. It is just, oh my gosh, it's just awesome. So we want to change the colors here. Remember what the colors that we had, why I like you to open up a little text box so that you can enter. All right, and then remember what we said here. We'll just go ahead and click in this little box here, and that changes the color for you. All right, so what if we wanted to do something like, I don't know, what if we wanted to get a little squirrely and we wanted to change an element here, right? Now, see what you can do. You can put a rectangular box, you can put a headline, you can put an image, right? What would that look like, right? This one's an image, so hey, wait a minute, we got an image here, right? So let's grab this image, move it out of the way so we can work. All right, so move some stuff around. All right, so let's say you wanted to have an image. So now you have a chance to bring in an image, do some really cool stuff with that, right? Look at that. How cool is that? Let's go ahead and I actually want to do some things here. I want to go ahead and I got that already. So let's double click that. Let's see, what does it tell me right now that this image is this width, but guess what? I can change that. Yes. I can make that bigger, right? Let's go ahead and say 250 because I want a big image in there. All right. So now you can bring in a really big image if you so desired. Okay, what's next is we're going to create a 3D cover for our book, and we can use Scribble for that too. Now, what we've done is we've changed a little bit of the subhead. If you notice here, again, remember if we want to change the size of anything, we go to our gear here. And we can see what the size is right now. We have it at 31. Let's see if we can make it a little bigger without it going to the next line. Okay, again, we can change the font if we want to. We've got our headings. The authors here, you can put that information in as well. So now what we want to do is go ahead and hit save. It's going to save our content. And then what we want to do, now that it's been fully saved, we can go ahead and take a look at that. Yep, looks good. Let's go ahead and exit, save and exit. Now, let's go over to Fantasia 3D. Okay, so we're gonna make a 3D cover in this particular case. And it's gonna ask, what do you wanna make a 3D cover of? Okay, so let's go ahead and go to new 3D cover. And you're going to say my ebooks continue. Oh, we got to put a name in. So we got, oh, I forgot to. All right, so you got your name. It's ready to go, and it's asking you, okay, which book do you want to use? All right, so go ahead and grab that. We're going to use this one, and it's going to start preparing our ebook. Give us a chance to look at what covers we want, what style. Now, I noticed something here, and this may happen to you too. I noticed this the other day, that it didn't put an element in here, and I started wondering what happened to that particular element, right? So let's go ahead and get out of this. I think I know what happened, why it didn't put the name down here, and that's because I hit the wrong thing, right? I should have put in that I want to have some text here and use that. That's what I should have done. That's okay, we get a chance to do that right now. And you get a chance to see it live. Nothing wrong with making mistakes, because when you're practicing something, you know, you have a chance to then go in and change stuff. It does get a little frustrating though when you're trying to do some things and you go, wait a minute, man, this is supposed to be right the first time. You know, not always, right? So let's go ahead and do a couple of things here. We're going to bold that. And then we also, remember, we want to increase the size of this. So let's do that here. All right, 22. Looks good enough. Let's move it down some. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and save that. Alrighty, all right, so generate 3D cover. Let's go right here. And here are some of our options. Okay, we've got lay it down, got that look, got this look here. I like this look. Let's try that. Okay, here it is. This is how it's going to look. Now you can go ahead and download your ebook cover. And you can have that to start doing some ads if you want to, if you want to start running some things that allow you to do some pre-sales, you can do that as well. So this is what you have here. So let's go ahead and open that up, see how it looks. All right, let's bring that over here. There it is. You can start doing some ads. You got a 3D cover. You can place that into some different areas. And like I say, there's some things you could change if you wanted to have a different background. Remember that if you want to have a different background, we want to have, instead of all white, we can have a background onto our graphic. That's the good part. But this is good enough. All right, so let's close out of this. And there you go. You have successfully created yourself a nice 3D cover. All right, so in the next video, we're going to be talking about some other things that you can do within Scribble.